Life with Crystals have a comment saying, should we move Ivy? I don't think the Pistons will pay him. I kind of said my piece yesterday on his trade value overall, but I'd love to hear what you have to say. I don't know if we have the same opinion or not, but I mean, what's kind of your take on, one, Jaden Ivey since he's come back, and two, what do you think the Pistons could or couldn't do with his situation?
He's a superstar. That's what y'all want me to say, right? Y'all think I'm the Ivy guy and I'm just super biased and I can't hold nobody accountable. He's a superstar. He's Dwayne Wade Jr. Nah, man. I think Ivy's in a tough spot still, man. I've been patient with him because I think he was playing fantastic last season, and coming into this year, obviously he's just not the same guy. I think the injury is kind of weighing on him mentally and physically. Like, the burst just isn't there. But I do like how he's adjusted his game so far. I like, kind of like I just said about Ron Holland, I like how Ivy's playing to some extent. Like, his turnovers have come down, obviously, because his usage isn't as high. But I like that he's kind of just playing within the flow of the team and doing what they need him to do, instead of him going out and trying to say, hey, y'all, I still got it. You can rely on me. I can still be that guy. Instead of trying to prove that you're still that guy, he's just really trying to do what the team needs him to do. And I think that's a good thing. In terms of what his value can be, I think he's kind of really determining it and setting it right now. I don't think he has a big market at this point, because I think he hasn't really had a turn the clock game where it still looks like he could be that guy or somebody that could be a building block for a young team like a New Orleans or the Wizards or somebody else. So it's always funny when people be in my mentions talking about, you got to trade Ivy, you got to get rid of him, he doesn't fit. All right, where you want him to go? Because if y'all are telling me that he's buns, who's gonna take him on, and why would they? If he's not what if he's what y'all say he is, who's gonna take the gamble on acquiring him? Especially if, again, it's never trade him for like the guys you mentioned, the Grayson Allen or the marginal improvement guys. Go trade him for MPJ. You gotta ship him for Trey Murphy. Like, you think that's enough? You think that's for what he is and how he's playing? I just don't think that's realistic. I think it's obviously taking him some time. He's had some good games.'s had some bad games. My problem has just constantly been, because, again, every time he misses a shot, I got people in my mention, see, told you. I'm just trying to understand. I've been talking about this on Twitter all day. If he's going to be a scapegoat for every single time he has a bad game, if it's always, see, he doesn't fit when he has a bad game or he's underperforming, have that same energy for the other guys, because there's no perfect player on this roster. There are other guys that are not perfect in terms of two-way production, and I don't hear none of that same criticism for some of those players. So if you want to have it that way, be consistent across the board. I feel like Ivy's deficiencies, which, again, talk about him. If he needs to improve in areas, no problem. But there's other players who have deficiencies too, who we called on, and we wanted to see them get better. And when they take those steps, they get credit. I think it's smart that Ivy's just kind of playing within the flow of the team and doing what they need him to do. He's not rushing anything. I still think a lot of shots that he's taking are good shots too. He's just not making them, and that's okay for right now. So, again, he's had some good games and some bad games. I think he's still kind of pricing what his value is going to be right now. I don't think it's set in stone either way. I just hate all the hate that this dude is getting, man. I personally just don't understand it. I really don't.
So my interactions with fans that are anti-Ivy, I don't really think they're anti-Ivy. I think the way I look at it is more to do with the organization. And I'll kind of go down this rabbit hole why I think people don't actually dislike Jaden Ivey.
Okay.
I think when you mentioned it earlier, a lot of players that are in a similar age bracket as Cade Cunningham, as superstars, have had their number two. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of Pistons fans were expecting Jaden Ivey to possibly be that number two, and he's had ups and downs. I think those 30 games last year, he was starting to come into his own. Then he gets his leg snapped by Cole Anthony being reckless, and he rehabbed, and he just hasn't looked the same, and that's to be expected. It might take him a full year just to get back into the groove athletically, and just the way he's playing right now. With that being said, I think the fans are just frustrated that K doesn't have a number two option, and Ivy gets the brunt of the hate because if he's not productive and he's inconsistent, fans would be like, see, we need another number two option, and Ivy's not it. it's not really Ivy's fault. He could be a good sixth man. Like he could 100% be a sixth man off this bench, and
Sure.
I would be completely fine with it. Like if that's his role, that's his role. I thought, um, the Knicks game, that was a perfect six-man game. He wasn't starting. He was productive off the bench with Stu. He was getting into his zone. He was hitting shots. Like, if he's going to be a six-man, I'm fine with that. But I think the narrative with him right now is so many people have their eyes on him because of the contract extension, because they're worried of what it actually could cost to keep him, which have something to break for you guys. It's not going to be as much as you think. His
No.
value is completely tanked. It's not going to be $30 million a year to keep Jaden Ivey in a Detroit Pistons uniform. Unless another team wants to pay him that. I mean, if you're Utah, go for it. I mean, like if Utah's going to pay you $30 million, like, you know what? Like, I like you, Ivy, but I don't like you for $30 million. Go get your bag. Go take care of your family. But it's not going to cost $30 million to re-sign him. It's just not. I think his value has completely tanked. I think trading him is extremely difficult, and everything that you said, saying like, yeah, you want to throw him in all these, trades for whether it be Trey Murphy, Michael Porter Jr., Laurie Markkinen, whatever. It's going to take more than just straight up Jaden Ivey because he hasn't really been as consistent as he was last year. He's been up and down. There have been games where he looks fantastic out there, but these last two starts, he just doesn't look like himself. And like he went from coming off the bench in limited minutes to, hey, yeah, you're in the starting lineup. Go adjust to that. That's a huge adjustment if you ask me. Like if you played basketball at any level from being in the starting lineup, which, he's been in the starting lineup, but he's coming off an injury. I'm not giving the guy an excuse, but it is a huge adjustment. I think fans are just really frustrated with not having that 20-point per game score next to Cade Cunningham. Obviously, we want to see Ivy do the best as he can in a Detroit Pistons uniform, but we have to just be objective and call it down the middle. There have been games he just has not been good defensively. There have been games where he's just getting beat off the dribble. He's hacking, he's following. I mean, that's why there's been games where JB just doesn't play him because he's looking for someone that's going to play more defense. But I mean, overall, just the discourse with him is just really weird. I feel like he probably gets him and Karis LeVert get the most hate out of any Pistons, but Karis LeVert is a completely different reason why he gets hated.
Yes.
But just to circle back, like the whole Ivy discourse, I don't think the Pistons trade him. I don't. Like I probably don't see him being dealt at the deadline, and I could see a situation where maybe he does take a little hometown discount to stay here in Detroit and possibly be a sixth man or maybe a starter. It really depends on what Trajan and the Pistons want to do.
I think what you said is totally fair. I have no problem if that's the expectation or the hope or the desire of the fan base of when is K going to get his number 2 guy. But based on what you just said and based on what we've seen thus far, we were getting that last season. Like, I don't understand because a lot of these same critics have been saying the same thing from last year. It's been, again, when his progression was coming last year, when he was, giving you career high in scoring, he was becoming a reliable three-point shooter in multiple situations, 40% from catching three. He was creating his own looks. He was one of the guys that they were relying on to close games for them with Cade on or off the floor. We saw that, and people were still upset. Oh, but his rim finishing. Oh, but his defense. It's like, bruh, there's no such thing as a perfect player, and he doesn't have to be perfect for this to work. That's the problem that I have. And you talk about circumstances with him, and I think that's 100% fair. Going back from the start of his career, and again, it's the league. You have to adjust. It is what it is. But I do think if we're going to give grace to certain other players who we may or may not talk about, I think he's somebody that really deserves a lot more grace than other people have given. Coming in his rookie year, Cade being gone basically the whole season, and now he is to run the show as a starting point guard. Second year, Monty Williams, we know how that went. Third year, I get my legs snapped after 30 games when I'm playing the best of my career, and I'm missing in action after that. Now this season, I'm basically kind of coming in on the fly after seeing my team play so well without me, and I'm just trying to fit in however I can. And again, now people are using, not people, but a lot of the haters using an injury if it's to say, see, told you. Like, bruh, he's coming back from a snapped leg. He's not going to be the same guy. To me, he just can't get in the way. I'm not expecting him to be what we saw last season. Just don't get in the way. Don't come down like Jalen Green and try to play hero ball. Don't do no Cam Thomas ISOs. If you have a matchup that you think you can beat, go ahead and beat it. But play within the team before you try to go get your own, because right now it's just not fitting. And it's okay. Great. Because again, it's not getting in the way of the team. They're in a position where they kind of needed him to an extent, because coming into the game, I think he was shooting, 37% from three. And they're still a team that's struggled and needed three-point shooting and spacing. I think he's helped attack zones when other teams have thrown those zone defenses at him. And we've seen an improvement in his defense as well. Again, I totally understand people wanting to have that number 2 guy next to Cade, but you had a good glimpse of that last season and y'all still wasn't happy. So which one is it? It can't be both. I just want to see some consistency. Again, if you want to give him, or if you want to give others grace for situations that you think are unfair to them, you can offer a little bit of grace to the guy that's that's recovering from a snapped leg and has had his role change basically every season he's been in the NBA, especially while they're winning. If he came back and they were losing and it was clear that he's holding them back, then I could understand. While he's had some slow games, I don't think they've lost any games because of Jaden Ivey. And I wish people would just be a little bit more objective about that, in my opinion.
I think there is someone on the roster that has cost them games, but I'm not going to name his name. But
look at you being messy again.
Let's say he's in the rotation. I'll just say that, and he's in the rotation a lot, which I just dribbles the ball for 15 seconds. Like, I got an ISO, but I was like, hey, you know. But I think it's more of just like, I understand fans want to go all in and get that number 2 option for Cade, which I think the organization, they have more than enough proof that Cade is that dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you gave him a secondary option, like his best secondary option he's had, think about this: Jeremy Grant and Malik Beasley last year. Like, that's like, no, those are role players, like mid to high level role players. Like, I think Trajan in the front office have enough evidence of what they want to do. They're just not like messy with the way they leak information. It's very tight-lipped. There could be a player right now completely under the radar that could, come in and average 20 next to Cade. We just don't know right now. But hey, it'll be interesting to see what they do at the deadline. I did want to kind of touch on the Jaden Ivey stuff, because I feel like, because you see it on the timeline just like I do. Like, it seems like it's like every other day. It's just like, if he plays good, cool. If he doesn't, we gotta start something. But
I'm telling you, every single time he misses a shot, see, Eric, where you at for your guy now? It's 3 people specifically every single time. And then even when I'm objective and talk about, like yesterday, I said Ivey's having a cold shooting night. He was horrible shooting yesterday, and people were still on my ass about what he was doing. Like, bro, like calling me biased, saying I can't have an objective conversation. Like, bro, this started with me being objective. Like, I don't understand. Again, I've never said that Ivey's has to stay here, or he's an untouchable player, or he's a max guy. I've never said any of that. He's got to earn his keep like everybody else. I just don't know what his critics want him to do. Again, I'm not sitting here telling you that he's playing amazing, but he has played well enough to not get in the way of this team, and he's also helped them play well enough to help them win games. Like that Laker game, he was really good. The New York game, he was really good. I think it was either a Celtics or a Bucks game where he was really impactful on both ends of the floor. And again, this is a JB Bickerstaff team. He said that he's wanted guys that could be impactful on both ends of the floor. There's some other guys who are not always impactful on both ends of the floor. Some of them give you bare minimum production, and y'all don't say nothing about that. And we don't have to talk about no names. You can talk about, imagine whoever it is. I don't want to have my words misconstrued and have out of context. But there are players y'all give a lot of grace to that don't give you two-way production all the time. So Ivey is doing what he needs to do in his circumstance. And I just think people need to be a little bit more fair about what they're seeing, especially while this team is still winning and playing good basketball.